It would be fair to say that most of us, of a religious bent or otherwise, look towards spiritually enlightened people as teachers. And they are our teachers. But there are varying degrees of spiritual enlightenment. There are those people who have become gurus, real teachers, devoted their life to gradually eliminating their egos, their self-images, and letting their real self shine through. But there are lesser teachers, people who have experienced perhaps an out-of-body experience or a near-death experience, where they've actually clinically died and then be revived and come back to us and remember what has happened. Now, this has happened to thousands of people, and there's a lot of research being done about it. Raymond Moody, for example, is a person who's dedicated his life towards this, finding out about what we are, what happens after death, etc. And so has Raymond Weiss. There are many. But the point is this: just because you've had a spiritually enlightening moment, when you perhaps have discovered what you are, had an epiphany, it does not mean that you no longer have any egoic faults. Because the ego is like a shell around the real self, which we built up with our thinking, which our fearful thinking, since the time we were born. And although once we have an epiphany, there's a huge crack in it, now the light can be let in or let out, as the case may be, there's still a lot of gunk in us, which has to be gradually eliminated. Think of the following analogy. There's a huge line of bottles, starting from a bottle which is almost black and going through to the end, which one is absolutely clear glass. Now imagine how much light gets in or how much light gets out through the dark or the black bottle. Not much. And this indicates a thick, really almost impenetrable egoic shell, which we built around ourselves. On the other hand, the truly enlightened man or woman, at the end with the clear glass bottle, absolute light shines in and absolute light can shine through in either direction. Most of us are somewhere along that line, between the absolute black and the absolute clear. So this is the point I'm making. We all have this egoic shell around us, and once we've had a spiritual epiphany of any sort, and we realise what we are, it doesn't make us suddenly all worldly wise, that we know everything, and that we have no faults anymore. All of us have our faults, all of us, and it's our job to come from the love which is within us and gradually dissolve, gradually get rid of that shell which we built around us. It can take a lifetime, and if you believe in reincarnation, as I do, it might take several lifetimes. But once we've had that experience of knowing what and who we truly are, that stays with us. We know that's the fundamental us, the I am, and the rest can be dealt with at the speed at which we want to deal with it. One of the things we normally want to do is to tell others of our experience, if we're brave enough to do so, and to help others get rid of their shell, get rid of their egos, so that they too can know what they really are. Worth bearing in mind, just because you've had an epiphany, just because you've had a near-death experience and survived, or an out-of-body experience that you remember, it does not mean that we are suddenly enlightened. Bear that in mind.